In this video, I am sharing my monthly reflection system, which helps me keep track of my overall goals in life, but most importantly, it also gives me direction. I'm making this video because it's one thing to have goals, even anti-goals, you can see that in one of my previous videos, but it's another to be consistent with them and really be honest with yourself about where you're at within them. It really takes troubleshooting things and being more realistic with my capacity. It also takes honest reflection of what my progress actually looks like. Goal setting is important, yes, but being consistent and being accountable to your word is even more important in the pursuit of those goals. So let's get started. Hey folks, I'm Vin. I use they, them, theirs pronouns. I am a 31-year-old and the Venn diagram is dedicated to the intersection of my life experiences. I'm a former nonprofit fundraiser of 7 years that's taken up YouTube on my free time because honestly, I've read way too many books and need an avenue to share this knowledge. I talk about self-development through the lens of emotional intelligence and ambition. Before we get started, would you be willing to hit that subscribe button? Super helpful to the channel, and who knows, maybe I'll get monetized in 2025 because of you. Take a look at all of the goals that you have, and I want you to come up with qualitative questions, right? Questions that aren't just, did you accomplish this, but did the pursuit of this make you happy? Is this the right goal for you to be setting right now? That's what the monthly reflections ultimately are. They're not just here for you to have raw data of like what you did or didn't accomplish, for you to identify the real core of a goal and see if you can extrapolate from there your motivations, the things that stop you, the life events that are happening. So for context, I set myself up for 2025 with goals and anti-goals. Goals should be pretty obvious. They're the things that you want to accomplish. And the anti-goals are what you don't want to happen. And I'll mention both right now. I'll put my goals and anti-goals right here and you can pause the video, but you can watch this full video where I talk about them in depth, my reasoning, and then how I'm going to keep myself accountable to those goals and anti-goals. So now I mentioned all of this because my monthly reflections are oriented to dialing in all of those goals every month. So within my creative goals and anti-goals, I really want to make quality content that poses questions to people that they might not have asked themselves, or questions that I pose to myself because I think they're valuable. And I don't want to just give everybody all kinds of solutions. I want to give you things to think about. You can determine for yourself whether or not they are good for you, applicable to you, or totally not relevant. And honestly, remaining curious has been a game changer for this goal in particular. So my questions within my creative goals category is, how did you maintain curiosity? Am I watching other creators' content? Am I reading? Am I doing stuff that I don't normally do or attempt? Am I content with the stuff that I put out there? Did I do it for me or for the views? And am I willing to watch my content again without cringing? Does it align with me? I think there's always going to be a level of cringe to watching yourself. It's a little, egotistic. But do I find what I'm saying valuable? Is what I'm saying clear and concise? Is it being delivered in an honest way? My other two questions are, did it fill my creative cup? Did I make enough quality content? And why will this idea fail? Which is actually a question of like, am I burning myself out? And because I have a lot of creative boundaries, I could probably do a whole other video of that. You can let me know in the comments if you want one. But this question, I think, is the most important one in this creative section, is why will this idea fail? It's actually from Diary of a CEO, which is a book by Stephen Bartlett, who has a podcast of the same name. And he asked this question to his team when they have a new concept that they want to try out. So let's say we want to execute on these notebooks. Why will this idea fail? And so they all give their negatives for how this idea could fail, trying to prepare for failure. And I asked myself that in terms of sustainability, am I making content that I really enjoy? Because if I make stuff that I don't enjoy, I'm going to burn out. That's the reason why this idea would fail. Am I making stuff that's useful? Because if it's not useful and if it's just there to garner views and because it's popular, I'm going to burn out because I'm not going to feel aligned to it. Am I spending too much time on ideas and not enough on executing? executing. That's going to get me in a perfectionist mindset and stuck in the ideation and planning process instead of just going for it. That's another reason an idea fails. That right there is my creativity monthly reflections. Out of all of these, this is probably going to be the one that's toughest for me to talk about, which is my career. I've been feeling a little lost lately. I'm 31 years old and I've been going through a career change. Like I mentioned in my intro, I was in the nonprofit sector and I've been in there for 7 years, and I burned out multiple times, multiple roles, and I ultimately realized I don't actually enjoy being in them anymore, even though I value the work that they do and I want to continue supporting amazing nonprofits in the future. I just want to ensure that I don't spend another 7 years unhappy in a job. And to be fair, I wasn't unhappy all 7 years, but I never stayed longer than 1 to 3 years in each role, which tells you a lot about the ways that I was able to grow or not grow within those roles. My only real monthly reflection question for this category is, what are the steps you are taking to get you closer to your goals, and what are the steps you're taking away from those goals? If I'm breaking this down, this is, looking for jobs, intentionally seeking job descriptions that spark some kind of energy and nervousness because I know I'll be challenged within it. I'm trying to pivot from fundraising, which is what I did for 7 years, into more communications role, either content writing or SEO content. So really I just want to write, and it can be for channels specifically in terms of reach and audience, or it can just be copy for those industries. So that's what I'm looking to do. Am I looking for jobs? Am I looking at job descriptions that really align with me? Am I willing to make changes to my resume and really confront my ego, insecurity, I don't want to change that. That sounds like a lot of work. Those are the things that I am thinking about, because I really want to find a career that I will be challenged in and that I will be intellectually stimulated by. And it ultimately doesn't have to be my end all role or passion either. I just need a stepping stone into a different industry that I haven't been in yet. Okay, intellectual for this category, and I think everyone should probably have this category of goals. The priority for my intellectual one is to challenge myself and to learn languages. And I'll be honest, I have not really been doing that great of this in 2025. I'm filming this in the end of January and it's supposed to come out in February. Not been doing the things. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try next month. But the things that I ask myself are, did you challenge your ways of thinking? And did you practice language and or speech? And so speech being just enunciating more. I do a really good job of enunciating for these videos because I know I'm being recorded. So in a way it feels like a performance, but I have a really hard time enunciating when I'm around real people. So I'm trying to get better at that. Physical. So one of my goals this year is to make it to a half Ironman, which is a triathlon that is very long. The physical focus is really simple. Is it feeling good in my body? And am I doing movement and food in ways that I enjoy? Those are the things that I ask myself. Make sure that I like the movement I'm doing, that I'm willing to change it up if I get bored or if it gets monotonous and I get tired of it because it gets really hard. Being willing to take rest days more often than I probably do. Also that I can be the best physical and mental version of myself. And I look at physical as nutrition as well as physical habits. I'm trying to work on that too. Financials. I just want monies. I am an immigrant and I'm a child of immigrants, and I grew up very low income, and I've worked in nonprofits which are also they have a ceiling to how much money you can make. Executive directors, the people in charge in nonprofits, they make $150 maybe. And so I don't really want that threshold. I want to reach much higher thresholds of income. And so I haven't been able to save very much, but I'm doing my best and I'm trying to get into a different job sector that hopefully will be able to elevate me to a different income threshold. 2 questions I asked. How do you feel about money? Are you making financial choices that align with your goals? So even being unemployed, I am trying to be mindful of expenses that are unnecessary. I would say my most unnecessary expense right now is probably eating out. I could save $40-50 a month not doing that and just cooking at home. And I just need to do that more often, honestly. Relational. And something else I am doing for this category is actually reflecting on each hangout that I have via a Google survey that I fill out once a week, and I gauge my interactions and how much energy I get from each interaction. And documenting that, I think, helps create a visual for the people that really give you energy, and maybe the people that you should reach out to more, because you can very tangibly see who you're seeing and then who you're not seeing. You're oh, I didn't realize I hadn't talked to this person in a year. Anyway, questions are really Who is giving or taking energy? Who needs nurturing in my life? Who is missing? So those are all my monthly reflections. In pursuit of any goals, this is why the channel and harmony of emotional intelligence and ambition, because I want you to be aware of yourself as well as the things that you're striving towards, because there's a lot of limitations with both. If you are only goal oriented, you're going to disregard a lot of your feelings and eventually you will crash. If you are completely emotional, not always rational, because emotions are super biased. I just want you to think about that. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment, let me know one of your monthly reflection questions, and I'll see you in the next video.